Yo, RX back with another breakdown of UFC Abu Dhabi Sandhagen versus Nurmagomedov. We back with another breakdown of a card that is very good. For a fight night, this is insane. Like, this is a crazy good card. Like, fuck, you can look at this poster right now. You got fucking Sandhagen and Nurmagomedov. That's an insane fight. Cheeto and Figgy, Tony, Dern and Godinez. Bunch of good fights on this card. It's a shame we lost Nick Diaz for Luque from the card, but what can you really do in that regard? We got one washed up legend getting beat up. We don't need two, so... Even though the main event of this card should be Tony versus Nick, but UFC's gonna UFC, so whatever. We still got a great card with some crazy fights for fight night, and it should be a fun, I was gonna say night, but at least for me, it's gonna be a fun day in Abu Dhabi because it starts early as shit. Same vibes as the Whitaker Alishkar card, which was in Saudi Arabia, which I think that might have started a little later. And but I think this card might be better than that. Main event wise it is, and I think maybe the rest of the card might be a little stronger on paper. That Saudi Arabia card was amazing in execution, but we'll see how it compares by the end of this card. But yeah, we got a really good card in store here, and let's see what happens, you know? So, enough of me rambling. Let's get right into this shit. Before I do, please like, comment, subscribe. 100 subs go by the end of the year. Thank you for getting me to 62 subs. Y'all are fucking on fire right now. Fucking climbing up that ladder. We were at like 58 a week ago when I did the breakdown for 304, and now we're up to 62. Let's keep growing, bruh. Let's keep fucking growing. I appreciate every fucking view, like, subscribe, dislike, whatever. Thank you no matter what you're doing to this video, and I appreciate it. So enough of that. Let's get into the breakdown. 13 fights in total. You ready? I'm ready. Let's do it. Again, 13 fights in total. We have not really lost many fights. We like, of course I talked about Nick. He got a replacement and we lost these two fights, but we still got 13 fights, and most of them are good. Not off the bat, we start off with two pretty bad fights, but you gotta start with the bat to get to good here. So let's get into it as we start in the middleweight division with a fight that is, like I said, pretty terrible, but it's the opening fight. I don't expect it to be a fucking title fight. As in our opening fight of the night, we have Sedriques the Reaper Dumas versus Denis Tiuliulin. Not a good fight. As you know, if you know these two are fucking garbage. So I won't waste a lot of time on this fight. I don't care about this fight. I hate one of the people in it, and the other one's a fucking joke. So we begin with Sedriques Dumas, who in the UFC is 2-2. His 2 wins are Cody Brundage and Abu Azaitar, and his 2 losses are Josh Frem and Sultan Uruziboyev, coming off the Contender Series. He's not good at all. Like, he's terrible, to be honest. He's good at beating women. That's the only thing I've seen, because he's a piece of shit like John Jones and Casey Kenny, so he can do that pretty well. Fucking piece of shit. But when it comes to fighting men, he's not very good. In his 2 losses, he's looked pathetic. In his 2 wins, he's looked... The Brundage win was okay, but I was boring as shit. He looked amazing on Contender Series. Like, I was high on him coming out to Contender Series, but then I learned about things like what I just brought up, and I fucking finally saw him fight in the UFC, and he is terrible. He's not really good at anything. He has some striking. He has a little power. He has a grappling game, which probably gonna be a big factor here. He's just not good. Like, you can beat the bottom of the barrel, well, apparently, but he's just not good. Simple as that. And he's gonna be a guy who in a couple years will not be on the roster, and he'll just fade out of existence. He's just a fucking clown. In the cage, he's not good. Out the cage, he's a piece of shit. Just not a great fight. Not a great fighter. Not a great person. And they're lucky they given him a layup. They really wanted to do this fight for some reason. It was meant to happen. This might have been a Whitaker card. Yeah, this was meant to happen 2 months ago in Saudi Arabia, but it gets moved here. So UFC really wanted to give him a layup. So he better be fucking thanking his lucky stars for that. To talk about his opponent, Denis Tiuliulin. Somehow I have even worse things to say about him in the cage. Out of the cage, he's not that bad. But in the cage, how is he fucking worse than Dumas? In the UFC, he is 1-4. How does he still have a job? You're asking the wrong person. His 1 win is against Jamie Pickett. Shocker. And his 4 losses are Gaziev, Jung Park, Gregory Rodriguez, and COD. He's fucking terrible. He's what people think Strickland is. People think Strickland's a garbage. Tiuliulin is what... Tiuliulin is Strickland with no talent. He's fucking ass. And I get... His losses are not to bad fighters. I'll give him that much. He's not losing to bad fighters. Jung Park, great fighter. Greg Rodriguez should be a ranked guy. COD, decent fighter. Gaziev, a dude who, if he actually fought more, could probably be a pretty good fighter. And when he did fight a can, he won. So I'll give him benefit of the doubt, but at the same time, you're just not good enough to be in the UFC, because your only win is against a guy who's literally gone now, and your 3 losses are against either great or subpar fighters. So he's just terrible. He has no gas tank, no heart, no chin. He has a little bit of striking, I guess, but he's just not good. The simplest way I can put it. Even on the regional scene, he was barely winning. The best he can get is a 3-fight fucking winning streak. The only reason he's in the UFC, I think he comes out of the Cormier Khabib gym. I believe. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh no. I know he trained with DC or some bullshit, but I also know he's from the Strickland gym, obviously. So I don't know why he's still here. He's fucking trash, and when he loses this fight, he gotta get cut, right? That'd be 5 in a row. Or no, 4 in a row, my bad. They're feeding him to Dumas. They for some reason, Dana likes Dumas, because he reminds him of John Jones. You wonder why. And they want to give him an easy, probably a highlight reel win, so yeah, Denis, you're literally just cannon fodder here, buddy. Time to get beat up again. The betting odds for his fight have Sedriques Dumas minus 225 to plus 180. Yeah, you could have Dumas up to 250. He's in contention for lock of the night, to be honest. Not like this card's strong for lock of the night. There's really 2 people and then some other ones. But yeah, Sedriques definitely is one more confident picks of the night. For as shit as he is, he should win. He's 8 years younger. He's taller, bigger reach, better fighter. Which you suck when Sedriques Dumas is the better fighter. And this is literally just a showcase fight for Sedriques. Like I said, the UFC likes him, and they want to give him a win, especially after that in the Sultan fight where he got poked in the eye, kind of got screwed over, to be honest. They're just trying to give him an easy win here, and they succeeded booking him against Denis Tiuliulin. So yeah, not really much to say. Trust me, I would love to pick Tiuliulin, but is picking Tiuliulin and getting it wrong worth getting the pick wrong? But like I've said in the past with Kelvin Gastelum and some other ones, as much as I want to see someone win, I'm not gonna waste a fucking pick on them. I will waste a pick on someone on this card. You can fucking take a guess who. But if it's not worth it, what's the fucking point? Give me Sedriques Dumas to win this fight pretty easily. And probably to get a finish. He could play it safe. He has got no finishes in the UFC yet. So I would not be shocked if he played it safe en route to a decision. Easy 29, 28, 30, 27, what have you. But I think he's going to want to get that finish, so I'm going to go Sedriques Dumas by, I think, knockout in the second. Tiuliulin has no gas tank, and I think Sedriques is just going to be the better fighter. I just think he is the better fighter. On the feet, he's better. On the ground, he's better. He's younger. He's been fighting more consistently too. Tiuliulin's been off for 8 months. Sedriques just fought. Give me Sedriques Dumas by knockout in the second. It's just a showcase fight for him if everything goes right. And UFC's gonna get what they wanted, so give me Sedriques Dumas by knockout in the second. Terrible fight on paper. At least it should end in maybe a finish. So Dumas knockout in the second to begin the night. Can versus Can. Speaking of Can versus Can, let's head to our second fight of the night in the lightweight division, as we have somehow I think this fight's even lower level than the Dumas fight, because I think Dumas is better than both these guys, but we'll see if how true that is. As in our second fight of the night in the lightweight division, we have Jai, the Black Country Banger Herbert versus Rolando, the Machine Bedoya. Terrible fight. Both these guys are fucking awful, but two terrible fighters. Hopefully, maybe they'll make a good fight, kind of like Modestas Bukauskas and Marcin Prachnal last week. Two terrible fighters make a good fight. We'll see. So let's get right into this with someone who we've not seen in a long time, Jai Herbert. Jai in the UFC is 2-4-1. God damn, I didn't think he was that bad. His two wins in the UFC are Kamaworthy and Kyle Nelson. And Nelson went weirdly aging good, even though Nelson's just not that good. So it'll age badly sooner than later. His losses in the UFC are Ronaldo. I think we all have seen that clip before. Pretty famous at this point. Money Moicano, Ilia Topuria, and Faraz Ziam, and he had a draw with Ludovic Klein. He's actually fought some pretty decent names, Moicano and Ilia. Those are some pretty solid dudes to lose to, let alone he's done the best against Ilia than anybody. Let that sink in, that he's done the best against Ilia Topuria. He's the only guy to drop Ilia Topuria. Fucking... That's an insane fact. And then a draw with Ludovic Klein. That's aging pretty fucking good. And Ludovic now on like a 3-fight winning streak or some shit. That's pretty fucking good. So yeah, Herbert just not very good though. Like he has a strong record. Like he's just terrible. Like that's the thing with him. He's just kind of terrible. He's old, at 36 years old. When he even got to the UFC, he wasn't that young. He was already, by the time he got signed, he was already fucking 32. Now he's 36. And he's he's just not good. He's been off for a year. I'm trying to think what he's actually good at. He's just kind of good at making the fight boring. That's what he did against Kyle Nelson, from what I remember. Like he's good at making the fight boring and doing what he has to do to win. He really does not have much striking. His grappling's fucking terrible. His heart and cardio terrible. No power. Like he's just not good. And like yeah, he's had good performances, like I said, almost finishing Ilya. That's again, let that sink in. And yeah, he did beat Kyle Nelson, the draw, but like in his last fight, he looked terrible against Ziam. He's just not that good, and he's lucky they're giving him another pretty low level opponent. Probably to be honest, this might be his easiest fight in the UFC, either, and depending on how highly you think of Bedoya over Kamaworthy. So. But yeah, I'm just kind of rambling on at this point. I just don't really have much to say about Jai. He's not good. He's tall, and he's good at making the fight boring, but that's about it. He's really not good at anything. So yeah, he's not really good at much. To talk about his opponent, Rolando Bedoya. Bedoya in the UFC is 0-2. In his UFC debut, he stepped in on short notice and fought Chaos Williams. A lot of people think he won that fight. Very close fight. He looked decent. Chaos looked pretty terrible in that fight, and it was Close. It had a lot of people pretty excited for Rolando's next fight when he had a full camp. and he looked awful, and because then he lost to Kenan Song, and again he looked awful. He's pretty much just a punching bag for 15 minutes. Made Kenan Song look amazing. I don't know what to think of Bedoya, because now I've seen 2 performances of his, and one he looked pretty decent against a very good fighter in Chaos, and then in the next one he looked terrible against a fighter way worse than Chaos. So, and now he's moving down to lightweight, because his first 2 fights were at welterweight, so now he's moving down to lightweight. Again, I don't know how I feel about that, because has he ever fought at lightweight? Not lately. So that's not really a great sign. That just screams desperate. Like, I forget when I said this. I forget who I said this about last time, but it kind of just screams desperate to move down. They're giving him a fight that's very winnable. Jai Herbert's not a hard fight, but Bedoya's really gonna need to show up here. Again, I did not know this fight would at lightweight until I looked on the right before I started this. I don't know how I feel about that. That kind of, like, I thought it was kind of a hard fight to predict as is, but now that this is, like, I thought Jai was moving up, which I thought that would make a little more sense, but Bedoya moving down. 15 pounds? Because he is kind of a flabby dude. He's not, like, he's a pretty flabby dude as is, so, very interesting. Maybe this is what he needs, a step down in competition, a step down in weight class. Maybe this is just what he needs. Because if we can see the guy that we saw fight Chaos Williams, Jai Herbert has no chance. But if we see the guy we saw against Kenan Song, who's pretty much just a fucking punching bag, yeah, it might go bad. Like, and we know what Bedoya is gonna try and do here. He's fighting a much taller dude. He wants to get on the inside and try and knock out Jai. But like, I think Jai's bigger and fucking lengthier than Kenan, so. Let's see, Kenan is 6 feet 71 and a half. Jai is 6 feet 77. So much bigger reach advantage. I just think this kind of screams Rolando's desperate, and he's just trying to move down a weight class and get a win, save his career. Because if he loses this, he's getting cut. I don't know how you can't get cut. So we'll see. We'll see if the move down helps him. We have to make the weight first, which we'll see if he does that, and we'll see how he looks on the scales. But aside that, he has to fight. Let's see how this fight goes. It's a close fight because they both suck, so shall we see what happens. The betting odds for this fight have Jai Herbert minus 165 to plus 120. Yeah, I guess I might move that down a little bit. I might have Jai minus 130, like close to a pick'em, but a small favorite. I'm leaning Jai. I think he's like he's older, almost by 10 years, but he's more experienced. He's much longer. This isn't the weight class he's been fighting at. Like, I think his style kind of works very well against Bedoya. Like, we saw how effective Kenan Song was at range. Now a much longer dude, more experienced dude, a dude with probably better grappling, maybe, if the fight hits the ground. This leaning Herbert, man. Bedoya, that Kenan Song form was just so bad, and now he's moving down a weight class. I don't love it. I don't love the pick. I don't love picking Jai Herbert, but I just feel like he's the pick here. Hard to trust Bedoya. And I don't, not saying it's easy to trust Jai Herbert, but he's much bigger, he's more experienced. I'm gonna go Jai Herbert. I think he wins probably a pretty boring decision. Fight at range and do the same thing Kenan Song did, just fight at range, use your reach and batter him up for 15 minutes. So give me Jai Herbert by decision. Flip a coin, and to an extent with this fight, I'm leaning more Jai Herbert though. So give me Jai Herbert. So, yeah, about all I can say. I don't want to ramble on about that fight anymore. Give me Jai Herbert by decision. I don't love the pick, but a pick had to be made. After that, we head to our third fight of the night. The first fight I can actually call a little bit decent. It's definitely, so far, the best fight we've broken down. As in our third fight of the night, we head to strawweight. for a decent fight between Victoria Dudakova versus Sam Page Hughes. Not a terrible fight, but not a great fight. We kind of know what this fight is. Just another same thing with the Sedriques Dumas fight. Just a showcase fight for one of these fighters. So let's see if the fighter shows up and shows out like they're meant to do. So let's get right into it as we begin with Victoria Dudakova. Victoria in the UFC is 2-0 coming off Contender Series. Really should be 1-0-1. That's still Nunes with barely a win. Excuse me. In her last fight, she beat Jinyu Fry. She looked fine. Wasn't an amazing performance, but she did look fine. That was almost a year ago, which is insane. But yeah, she did beat Jinyu Fry. Looked okay. Had staph infection. Famous story there, and now she's finally back. She was meant to fight Melissa Gatto earlier in the year, but she got injured or some bullshit the day of the fight, so kinda sucks. But this is a much easier fight than Melissa Gatto, so kinda worked out for Dudakova in the end. So yeah, and then for Dudakova as a fighter, she's pretty decent. 25 years old, still super young, only 8-0 into her career. This is only her 9th fight. She's good. She has a good ground game. She's a decent striker. She's getting better every fight, as you do when you're fucking 9 fights into your career at 25. So yeah, she's getting better. This is a good fight for fighting a veteran like Sam. Just a good showcase fight for her to see, like, see how better she's got in a year since her last fight, and a little bit of a step up. Not a giant step up, but a little one at that. And pretty much just see how much she has improved. Sam is not a walk in the park, but she's not a tough fight either. So this is just a showcase fight for Dudakova. So let's see how much better she looks here than she did against Fry. Not saying she looked bad against Fry, but she could have looked a little better. So let's see how she looks here. To talk about her opponent, Sam Hughes. Sam in the UFC is 3-5. Jesus fuck. Her 3 wins are Stella Nunez, Elise Reed, and Jacqueline Amorim. Her 5 losses are Tisha Pennington, Luma Lubumi, Luana Pinheiro, Pierre Rodriguez, and Yasmin Halagui. She's not very good. Like, she can look decent against these bad fighters or a fraud, but she's never gonna be a good fighter. She's never gonna be a world beater. Like, the way she wins fights is just surviving until you gas out. That's what happened against Estella and Amorim, and that's why she's lost against everyone else. Like, man, I was gonna say I'm actually shocked she didn't beat Pinheiro then, but she actually looked pretty decent against Pinheiro late. And same thing against Pierre Rodriguez. I'm actually shocked she didn't win those fights, to be honest. But against, like, Luma Lubumi and Yasmin Halagui, she's going to lose every time, because they're not going to gas out enough for her to win the fight, as simple as that. So, and Sam's just not very good anyway, so, like, she's not really good at anything. Her striking ain't great. Her grappling's decent. Like, her grappling's passable, and her cardio's good, but that's about it. She has no power in her hands. You're not scared of anything she can do. Like, she's just a fucking fighter you throw in there against young fighters to give them a win. That's what they did with her in her last fight against Yasmin. They threw her in there with Yasmin to get her back on track, and it worked perfectly. So, Hughes is just good cannon fodder. Like, unless the only way Dudakova loses this fight is if she gasses out really early, like Amorim and Stella, but that's just not gonna happen. So, like Sam's a good test for a fighter, mainly just to test their gas tank, because she's not really testing anything else. So, yeah, pretty simple. The betting odds for this fight have Victoria Dudakova minus 190 to plus 160. I would have her minus 200, if not up to 300. Should win this one easily. Just don't gas out and you win. Like, it's as simple as that. Dudakova is literally the better fighter everywhere. Striking, ground game, younger, faster, She's just better. So, it's pretty simple. It's so simple to the point where she is my lock of the night. Of course, I know who my lock of the night should be. One of these two, and I'll get to them later. But since I'm biased and I want to call one of those two my lock of the night, I'll go Victoria Dudakova. She should win this easily. I kind of said the same thing for Oban Elliott last week against Preston Parsons. Sam Hughes is just like Preston Parsons. She's not the type of fighter to do fraud checkings against good fighters. Yeah, Jacqueline Moore sucks, so I don't count that. So she's just there to lose to. She's just there to show up and make young fighters look good, and that's what she's gonna do here. She's gonna show up and make Victoria Dudakova look good. So yeah, give me Victoria Dudakova by decision, 30-27 across the board probably. Just a quick, easy win. Locks of the night will be done and dusted, and we can move on with the card. So, enough talk. My pick here is Victoria Dudakova by decision. See what happens. After that, we head to our fourth fight of the night, heading back to the lightweight division for a very good fight here. I'm very intrigued because I'm hearing a lot of hype on one side here, and then the other side always has hype. As in our fourth fight of the night, the only fight to have a short notice replacement, we have Guram, Georgian Viking Kutateladze versus Jordan, the Epdermic Vucenic. I know I said that wrong, my bad, but that was close. Yeah, Jordan is stepping in for Abdul Karim Al-Sawadi, who pulled out maybe 2 weeks ago. I don't remember when exactly, a week or two ago. So, yeah, our only short notice replacement of the card. Let's see how the kid does. So, this should be an interesting fight. Just Jordan kid has a lot of hype on him. Let's see what happens. And let's talk about his very hyped up opponent first, Guram Kutateladze. Guram in the UFC is 1-2. Really could be 0-3. A lot of people don't think he won that Kamrat fight. Probably didn't. And then he lost to Demir and Elves Brener. Guram's okay. I'm kind of lost my hype for him. Is he a bad fighter? No. But is he like this hyped up world beater people had him to be? I don't think so anymore. Like, he's not bad. He's not a bad fighter, but should he really be this hyped up dude? I don't think so. Like, again, he could easily be 0-3 in the UFC, and even with the 1-2 record, that's 1-2 over 4 or 5 years in the UFC at this point. It's like, fuck, dude, fight. I know you're a fucking Hamzat friend, so I kind of get why you never fight. You're weak like he is. So, like, he's just. It's frustrating, and it's frustrating that he is so hyped up, and then when he does fight, he's lost 2 in a row. So, and now he really needs to win here, and he's getting a short notice replacement fight. Like, Jesus Christ. And he's 32 years old. He has to show up and show out here. He has to show up and get a win here, because a loss here, did they cut him? That'd be fucking 3 L's in a row, could easily be 0-4. Like, do you get rid of him finally? Like, I wouldn't be upset if he loses it, especially if he looks terrible. Do it. Like, he's not looked terrible in his loss, so I'll give him that. He was winning against Elvis Brener, I believe. He looked okay against Demiris Magulov, even though not a great loss. And then he probably lost to Gamrat, who, I guess, top 10 ranked dude. I don't know. Kutateladze is just kind of annoying. Show why you're so hyped up. Show why you are still this very hyped up dude in the UFC. Because we've not seen that guy. I don't think we've seen that guy in the UFC, to be honest. Like, excuse me. I really don't think we've seen that guy in the UFC yet. And I don't know if we will. If he loses here, who knows? We might see that guy in fucking PFL. But who knows if we see him in the UFC ever. So, show up and fucking look like that hyped up dude. Stop fucking either A, not showing up at all, or B, losing. So, show us something here, dude. Jesus. To talk about his opponent, Jordan Vucenic. Of course, this is his UFC debut on short notice, stepping in for Abdul Karim Al-Sawadi. I've never seen him fight before. I've seen the hype on him. He's very hyped up. That's about all I know. He's tattooed to hell. Fucking every part of his body's fucking tattooed. And he has a win over Morgan Charrier, which is a very nice win. So, and I think he is going up a division here. I think he's a lightweight, so I mean, I think he's a featherweight, so he's going up to lightweight here. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We'll see if this dude's worth the hype or if he's just kind of another Cage Warriors fraud. We shall see. The betting odds first, I have Guram Kutateladze minus 250 to plus 200. I kind of hard to say yes or no to, since again I've never really seen Jordan fight. So we'll see. I don't know if I would have those odds. I might have Guram a little smaller of a favorite, but kind of hard for me to throw an opinion out there when again I've never seen this guy fight. And I'm not really high on this guy anymore, so weird fight. Should be a fun fight, but a weird fight. So, and who am I gonna go with? I kind of want to go with a funny pick of Jordan, just because again I don't really see. I'm just not impressed with Kutateladze, so I might go Jordan, to be honest. So, do I think he's gonna win? Probably not, but you never know. Like, either he's going to be a Felipe Lima, who comes in on short notice and looks amazing, or he's gonna be one of these short nosed guys who shows up and gets their ass beat. So, we'll see which one Jordan is. I'm gonna go Jordan. I think I'm gonna go Jordan, just for fun of it. I think it's more fun. Guram, you gotta impress me, bro. So, give me Jordan by decision. He's not that much smaller, only 2 inches shorter, same reach. See what the guy got. He just fought not long ago. He literally fought like fucking 2-3 weeks ago. Yeah, he literally just had a fight, so he's not just coming out of camp. Let's see what he can do, man. Let's see what he can do. Give me Jordan by, I guess, decision for fun. Maybe he actually wins, who knows. Let's wait and see. Jordan by decision. I'll learn how to say his last name after the fight. After that, we head to our 5th fight of the night in the heavyweight division. Some low-level heavyweight cans. You love to see it. Or you hate to see it. I know I do. As in our 5th fight of the night, heading to heavyweight for the only time on the card, we have Shamil Gaziev versus Dantel Lord Kong Amaze. Can versus can. Let's see what can wins. Oh boy, let's talk about Shamil Gaziev. Shamil in the UFC is 1-1 coming out of Contender Series. In his UFC debut, he looked great against Martin Buday, getting a nice finish, yada yada yada. And then he had a main event with Jairzinho Rozenstruik, and it was one of the most embarrassing fights I've ever seen. The dude almost fucking died of exhaustion. Like, Shamil's a joke. He's not a good fighter. He has about maybe 4 minutes of cardio. He kind of got to take a minute off because of the walkout. He's a joke. He's honestly terrible. Like, that Jairzinho fight is one of the most embarrassing fraud checkings I'll ever fucking see. Like, he's pathetic. He's honestly pathetic. And, again, it's a miracle that... I don't even know. I don't even fucking know. It's a miracle he didn't fucking die against Jairzinho. If he was breathing so fucking heavy by like round 2. He literally gasped in like round 2. Like, this dude's a joke. Like, I don't even know what to say. I really don't even know. Like, he's become a complete meme in the UFC because he is so bad. Like, he's not a good fighter. He's just a fat fuck who can kind of hit hard. All the... Like, Shamil Gaziev and all these low heavyweights show any fat dude can fucking put on some gloves and go fight. Like, if your name's not Tom Aspinall, you're not good. So, Gaziev's a joke, and they're giving him a layup, and he might lose here, to be honest. So, he's not good. He's a fucking fat joke. Let's talk about his opponent, Dantel Mays. Dantel in the UFC is 4-1. His 4 wins are Rogue Martinez, Josh Parisian, Andre Arlovsky, and Kyle Machado. His 4 losses are Cyril Gane, Rodrigo Nascimento twice, and Augusto Sakai, and he had a no contest with Hamidi Abdelwahab. Mays is not a good fighter either, but I think he might be better than Shamil. He's a veteran at this point. This is his 10th UFC fight. he's had some ups in the UFC, knocking out Arlovsky, looked okay against Kyle Machado, but then he's had some downs, like losing to fucking Rodrigo Nascimento twice and Augusto Sakai. So, some ups and downs in the UFC, but he's still floating. He's gonna win some, he's gonna lose some. So, he's never had that big win though. Like, he knocked out Andrei Arlovsky last year, but it's Andrei Arlovsky in 2023. Not really impressive. He's pretty active. He did have 3 fights last year, so I'll give him that much. But, he's just not good. He's not very good, and apparently he's only in the UFC because he's a John Jones friend, so kind of makes sense. Because he's pretty terrible, but you never know. He's not went on a losing streak bad enough to get cut, so I'll give him that much. But he's not went on a winning streak worth any respect either. So yeah, not very much else to say. You know, again with Dante Mays, he's going to fucking fight at range. He can clinch up if he has to. Like, he's not bad at really anything. He's just not good at anything either. This might be the first fight ever he has a cardio advantage, so I'll give him that much. But, yeah, he's just not very good. And, but who knows, he might pull off the upset here. The betting odds for I have Shamil Gaziev minus 275 plus 220. I think you're fucking insane. Fuck, I might have to pick them. They're both fucking terrible. I'd have Shamil minus 140, like a small minus 140, and that's just because in the first 2-3 minutes of the fight, he's a little dangerous. But after that fucking 4th, 5th minute, he's tired. So, if Mays can make it out of round 1, he easily won this fight. So, we'll see what happens. I want Dante Mays. The more I think about it, I'm going to go Dante Mays. I don't think he's going to get finished early. And I'm going to go Dante Mays by decision. I think he's going to probably lose round 1, if maybe even win it. And he's going to win round 2 and 3 for sure. Because fucking, Shamil's gonna be so tired. Give me Dante Mays by decision. Shamil might fucking die before the decision happens, but you never know. So, give me Dante Mays by decision. I just have a feeling, man. Shamil is terrible. And Mays has the gas tank advantage here by a mile. So, give me Dante Mays by decision. Am I confident? Not really. But, why not? Why not go with the underdog who had maybe a better chance of winning, because again, Shamil had 2-minute cardio, so we'll see what happens. Dante Mays by decision. After that, we had to our co-main of the prelims, a terrible fight, just a can versus can affair. As in our co-main of the prelims, we have, heading back to lightweight again, Mohammad, the UAE warrior Yahya versus Kauê Fernandes. I wonder why this dude is in the UFC and on the card. I wonder. Yeah, not gonna say much on this fight. They both suck, and yeah, not much to say. Let's talk about Mohammad. Yahya in the UFC is 0-1, coming off in his UFC debut. He lost to Trevor Peek and looked terrible. Pretty much just showed that he's only in the UFC because they keep going to fucking Abu Dhabi, Saudi Arabia, and they really want this guy on those cards because he's fucking, yeah, no shit. So he's literally from fucking Dubai and all that shit, so they want one of their fighters, and they have one. Too bad he fucking sucks. Yeah, he's fucking awful. He's literally terrible. That Trevor Peek performance was fucking, like, I get Trevor Peek ain't the easiest debut in the world, but he looked terrible. He made Trevor Peek look fucking amazing. And he looked terrible. So, I don't know. Maybe debut jitters, Trevor Peek's a good fighter, what have you. But if that's the fighter Yahya is, he's gonna be cut before you even can remember his name. So, yeah, Mohammad Yahya's fucking terrible. Talk about his opponent, Kauê Fernandes. Kauê is also 0-1 in the UFC, coming off his UFC debut, where he lost to Mark Diakase in a very close fight. He looked a lot better than Yahya did against a much worse fighter, though. He couldn't stop a takedown to save his fucking life. If he could, he would have won. But now he's fighting Yahya, who's somehow even worse than Mark Diakese, which says a lot. And he's not very good. But if you're going off who looked better in their debut, it's fucking Kauê for sure. And I don't think Yahya's gonna be shooting takedowns. I don't think that's really in his bag. If it is, then we might be having an issue, but I don't think that's really something in his fucking bag, so Kauê should be safe from that. So, not much to say about two dudes who are 0-1 in UFC and look pretty shit in their debuts, so, yeah. The betting odds for this fight have Kauê Fernandes minus 350 to plus 260. Are any of these betting odds close? Jesus. I don't know. I might have Kauê minus 200. Do I think he's better than Mohammad Yahya? Yes, but do I think he should be minus 350? Nah, not yet. I gotta see him look like a minus 350 fighter before he actually is. So, I'm picking him to win, of course, because I think Yahya is a fucking pathetic joke of a fighter. But do I think fucking Kauê should be minus 350 here? No, he's not the level of Trevor Peak. And again, from his debut, I did not see anything that looks like a minus 350. 200 I'll give you, but I'm not thinking at minus 350, so, yeah. But, yeah, not very much I'll say about this fight. Like I said, I'm going Kauê Fernandes. I think he's the better fighter. They're the exact same height and reach, so no advantages there. Kauê should win this fight unless some biased judging happens, which I doubt it. If it didn't happen in the Peak fight, it won't happen here. So, giving Kauê Fernandes by decision should probably be a terrible fight, but you never know. Again, last week we saw two terrible fighters have a good fight. Will these two do the same? I doubt it, but you never know. So, give me Kauê Fernandes by decision. Probably a terrible fight, but should be an easy win for Kauê to an extent, because Yahya is ass. And now time for the featured prelim, a really good fight in the light heavyweight division, as we have to end the prelims, Atomic Alonzo Menifield versus Azamat, the professional Murzakanov. Really good fight here. Really good fight to end the prelims. Very solid fight. Very good to see Azamat back. Alonzo Menifield's back pretty fucking quickly, so yeah, not a bad fight, and let's see what happens to end the prelims. Let's talk about Alonzo Menifield first. Menifield in UFC is 8-4-1. His wins are coming off Contender Series. He beat some of his best wins are Paul Craig, Murzakanov, Crute, and Jacoby. His 4 losses are Devin Clark, OSP, William Knight, and Carlos Alberg. He's not a terrible fighter. He's just not he's not the brightest fighter in the world. He's on a nice winning streak here, nice 4-fight winning streak against guys like Murzakanov, Jacoby, and Crute. But he kind of fucking ended Jimmy Crute's career. But besides that, he's pretty much just power. He's not really a great fighter. He's had glimpses of looking really good. Like again, Jacoby fight, he looked good for 15 minutes. Jimmy Crute fights, he looked pretty good. But then you have fights like fucking William Knight and OSP where he's looking terrible. And then Alberg, he just fought stupid. He ran right at him and got knocked out. So, what the fuck do you think was going to happen? He's trained by Pat Berry, the only other fighter outside of Rose trained by Pat Berry, I believe. And I think only Pat Berry. We kind of see why he's not that great. But he's had glimpses, but he is 36 years old, coming off a 12-second knockout loss against Carlos Alberg. Yes, this is a step down from Alberg, but still, you're fighting a very good fighter 3 months after getting flatlined in 12 seconds. We'll see how this one goes. We'll see. A 36-year-old coming off a fast knockout loss, and he's trained by Pat Berry. Not a couple red flags I see, to be honest. To talk about his opponent, Azamat Murzakanov, it's very good to have him finally back. Azamat in the UFC is 3-0. His 3 wins are Tafon and Chukwui, Devin Clark, and Dustin Jacoby. He's been off for over a year. His last fight was Dustin Jacoby early last year, April last year no less. So he's been off for a hot fucking minute. He had 2 fights booked, but they both fell through, I think because of him. Yeah, Murzakanov. So it kind of sucks because he is a very good fighter. But he is finally back now, getting a nice fight. He is in the top 15 still. I think he's still ranked like 14th. So he didn't lose his ranking. At 35 years old, he does not have time to be losing rankings or fights. Kind of have to get right into it. He is a good fighter. Like, has his performances been the best? Not really. Tafon, he was kind of losing that fight if I remember, but he did get the knockout. Devin Clark, I think he looked good in that fight from what I remember. And then Dustin Jacoby, just like Alonzo, he beat the shit out of as a big underdog too. I think he was like fucking +1, not only +130. So he's good. He is good. And again, I'm happy to see him back because I do think the dude is very talented. He just is 35 years old and is not fighting consistently. So if we can get him start fighting more consistently, that'd be very ideal because again, he's 35 years old. He doesn't have time to be wasting said time on taking breaks in between fights. So, and especially with light heavyweight moving very quickly, it seems like weekly. Let's see how Azamat can return to the division. So, yeah, we know like he's not like your normal light heavyweight like a Yuri, a Ratchik, a Alex, where he's gonna go crazy for a knockout. He's gonna fight slow and smart. He gets finishes, just they're very methodical, I guess would be the term I would use for him. So we'll see if that style works here against Alonzo. It easily can. So see if it does. The Bangouts first fight have Azamat Murzakanov -190 to +160. Yeah, I agree. I don't know if I would have -200 since he has been off for a year plus. But yeah, I think about -190 is fair. Azamat should win this. I think he's the better fighter, the smarter fighter. Like, he's a little shorter. Like, he's a little shorter, but that's every fight for him, it seems like, because he is a very short light heavyweight at only 5'10". So, but he's been able to keep winning at that size disadvantage. So we'll see if that's able to keep up here. It should. Menifield is a decent fighter, but he's not a world beater, and I think Azamat can just fight smarter here. Again, Menifield just got knocked out 3 months ago by Carlos Alberg. So, we'll see how Azamat does here in his big return. I'm going to Azamat. I don't think he's going to lose his O here. I think he's going to come back, look good against a tough dude like Menifield, and we'll see what he can do. Let's see what he adds back to the division, and I'm going to go Azamat Murzakanov by decision, I think. Maybe I'll go for finish. We'll see. But as of right now, I'm leaning a decision. But again, a finish is possible. Menifield has been finished, I think, in 3 of his 4 L's, or at least 2 of them. So we'll see if Azamat can add to that list. He does get finishes somehow, so we'll see if he does. But as of right now, I'm leaning a decision. We'll see if that changes. So, yeah. Azamat Murzakanov by decision to end the prelims. So those were the prelims. They're okay. Pretty much Azamat and Guram are the highlights. Nothing else really insane. A couple pretty bad fights, to be honest. But now we get into the main card, which is just bangers. So let's stop wasting time. Already 50 minutes into this bitch. Let's get into the main card opener. And let's get into the main card in general. So, and we open the main card with a fucking banger in the lightweight division. Lightweight's getting all the fights tonight. As in our main card opener, we have a banger between Joel El Fenomeno Alvarez versus Elves Brener. What a way to begin the main card. A banger between 2 amazing unranked lightweights. I can't wait for this fight. Let's get into it. Amazing way to begin the main card. And we begin with Joel Alvarez. Another dude who just needs to fight more. Joel is 5-2 in the UFC. His 5 wins are Danilo, no idea who that is, Joe Duffy, Alexander Yakova, Thiago Moises, and Mark Diakese. His 2 losses are Damir Ismagulov and Arman Sarukian. He's really fucking good. Joel is a very good fighter. I've been impressed with him every time I've seen him fight, besides the Arman fight, but what the fuck do you want him to do against Arman Sarukian? He is very good. He just needs to fight more consistently and get the weight cutting down. So, it makes sense why he's missing weight. He is a bona fide fucking welterweight at 6'3". So, but if he can get the weight cutting down and fight more consistently, I could see this dude, he could be a top 15 fighter in my opinion. And that's saying a lot when lightweight's as crazy as it is. Like, Alvarez is very fucking good, and it's a shame that he's been in the UFC since 2019 and only had 7 fights. Like, that he keeps taking these long breaks, and, like, I get why he took a long break between the Arman fight. He took one of the worst beatings that you'll fucking see. But, like, he barely took any damage against Casey. He should have been back in there sooner. And I get he had fucking 2 fights booked, but you keep pulling out of them, stupid. So, I like Joel. I think he's a very good fighter, and when he does fight, again, he looks good. He's fucking outside of Arman Sarukian, who again is Arman Sarukian. How much better can he look? So, hopefully, this fight's the start of him actually showing up to fights more consistently and fighting more. Fuck, if we could get him in another fight before the end of the year, that'd be pretty nice. But if not, at least hopefully he can look good here and get back in there pretty quickly. Because Joel is good. He's good on the feet. He's really good on the ground. He's ginormous for the weight class, and he can actually kind of make the weight. He just needs to fight more. And if he can, you can have a top 15 dude. I don't know about top 10. Definitely not a champion. But you could have a dude who could really make waves at lightweight. Make waves at fucking lightweight, man. I think he was ranked before, no less. So, let's just see him fight more consistently. He's a well-rounded, really good fighter. It's just a shame he's barely fought. So, yeah. To go on the complete opposite end, Elves Brener, a guy who fights super consistently. Elvis in the UFC is 3-1. His really 2-2. His 2 wins are Guram Kutateladze, funny enough, and Kenan Khrushchevsky. His 2 losses are Zabera Tuhugov, that was a complete robbery, and Maitek Bek Orlabai. Elvis is good. Elvis is a good fighter, never has a boring fight. Kind of a mini Charles Oliveira. Like, if he goes to shoot a box, Charles in his corner, he has the blonde hair. He's kind of like a mini Charles. He's crazy on the feet. He throws some power. He has power. He's a decent striker, but his bread and butter is the ground game. You wouldn't be able to fucking tell half the time, since he gets these knockouts, but he is very good. And he never really has a boring fight. He's very active. He's only been in the UFC fucking a year and a half, and he's had 5 fights now, so against tough competition like Guram and fucking Orlabai. So this kid's good. He's tough. Like I said, he's very fucking tough, and him and Joel is gonna be a fucking banger. He's only 26 years old. He's almost as well rounded as Joel. He's a lot shorter, which no shocker, but he's almost as well rounded. He's a decent striker. I think Alvarez is a little better. But he might be a little better on the ground. Again, he does train with Charles Oliveira, for fuck's sake. So probably the greatest grappler of all time. So yeah, this is gonna be a banger. This is just gonna be a banger. Like, the more I break it down, the more I'm just thinking, God damn, this is gonna be fun. One great fighter versus another great fighter, both pretty much well-rounded. I can't wait. Amazing fight to begin the main card. I'm so happy this is getting the main card spotlight, and can't wait. The betting odds are, I guess, a pick'em. I looked at them earlier. I think they might be around this range, so maybe Joel is a small favorite. I'm not sure. I think it should be a pick'em. You can see this going either way. Can you really tell me one guy is much better than the other? I can't. Like, on the feet, I think Joel's a little better, but it's close. On the ground, I think Brener's a little better, but it's close. The giant size difference, 6'3" versus 5'1", 77 inches versus 72 inches. It's interesting. Brener does have the fighting more consistently advantage. That could be a blessing and a curse. So we'll see how rusty Alvarez is, since he's not fought in over a year. But this is going to be a banger. I love this fight. I hate having to pick this fight because it's so difficult to predict. But I cannot wait for this fight. Could easily be 5 tonight when it's all said and done. And I am super fucking excited. So, who am I going with? Fuck. I don't think I've ever picked against him. And I don't know why I would start now. If the dude can stay active, I'm gonna keep picking him. Give me Joel Alvarez, man. I picked this man to beat Arman Tsarukyan. I think he can. I'm gonna pick him against Elvis Brener, so we'll see if he can. I can't wait. I just can't wait. I don't want to say any more about this fight. I'm just gonna ramble on. Flip a coin and pray with this one if you actually care about picking this fight, which I don't. I just care about watching this banger, and that's what I'm gonna do. Amazing way to be in the main card. I'm gonna go Joel Alvarez by decision, but you never fucking know. This could go either way, and I can't wait. So give me Joel Alvarez by decision in a great fight. To flip to the other side of the coin in a terrible fight, let's get into our second fight of the night. Our second fight. Whew. Calm down. Let me speak a little English, and maybe slow down my talking a little bit, as in our second fight of the night, of the main card, my bad, we head back to strawweight for our second fight of the night there, as we have Mackenzie Dern versus Loppy Godinez. Not gonna waste a lot of time on this fight. I think we know how this fight's gonna go. We might not know who wins completely, but I feel like we kind of know how the boat's gonna float here. So let's get right into it. I'm not gonna waste a lot of time on this fight, especially on our first fighter, Mackenzie Dern. Boy, another Mackenzie Dern fight. Hopefully she loses and gets cut finally. Dern in the UFC is 8-5. We all know Mackenzie Dern by now. She's one of the weirdest fighters, I swear. I just look at her as a Paige Van Zandt with a little more talent, who's able to win fights a little bit. She's not good. Like, Dern is fucking terrible. Like, she's so bad, it's fucking funny after a while. It's like, she's honestly ass. Like, funny enough, that's the only reason she's popular. She's just not good. She's not good. She's never improved as a fighter, which is the most annoying thing. She's just this one-dimensional shitty grappler. For one fight, her striking looked subpar against Angela Hill. Good job, dickhead. You fucking looked ass. You got killed by Amanda Lemos. You got fucking annihilated by Andrade. Xiaonan beat you up. You lost to Tisha Pennington. Marina Rodriguez beat you up. She's just not good. She never has been. She probably never will be, so... Like, I did see she got back with Jason Perillo, so that'll help. But until I see improvement on a consistent basis, I'm not gonna fucking hype up Dern anymore. I'm not impressed with Dern. I'm not gonna call her a good fighter, because I don't think she is. So... she's just a fucking, probably the most talented Paige Van Zandt they've ever had. If you know what that means, you know what that means. Show you actually have gotten better. That's all I can say. Get better as a fighter already. It's fucking insane after a while. So, about all I can say. To talk about her opponent, Loppy Godinez, another fighter who's extremely fucking annoying. Loppy in the UFC is 7-4, really 8-3 in my opinion. Actually 9-2. Her wins are Jessica Panay, Sylvia Gomez Suarez, Luana Carolina, Luma Lukbumi, Cornalosi, Calvillo, Ducati, Reed, and Ricci. Her only real losses are to Angela Hill and Verna Jandiroba. Loppy is frustrating in the way of she's not a bad fighter like Dern. She's actually a really good fighter who just barely shows up when she actually fucking fights. That's the problem with Loppy. she's actually really talented. When we see her at her best, and I've said this every time I break down her fights at this point, when we're seeing her fight at her best, like the Elite Reed fight, she looks amazing. But then we have the Jandaroba fight where she looks fucking terrible. Or the Cynthia Calvillo fight where she almost loses. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? It's like, for fuck's sake, Loppy, fight consistently. She's like the most hot and cold fighter ever. Like, if she could fight at her best on a consistent level, she'd be a top 5 fighter by now. She probably would have got a title shot. But she can't fucking show up consistently. She looked shitty versus Jandaroba in a fight she should have won. It really should have been... Excuse me. It really should have been Loppy and Lamo 3 weeks ago. Excuse me. Or whenever that fight was. Like, it's fucking insane how inconsistent she is. Because one fight she looked like a fucking future champion world beater, and the next fight she looked like a fucking pushover. It's like... It's annoying. It's so fucking annoying. So, these are like... the UFC booked a perfect fight, the 2 most annoying fighters to predict in that division. One fighter's never gotten better, the other somehow looks like the best fighter on the roster, and then the worst the next fucking day. I don't get it. I don't fucking get it, and this fight's gonna be so weird. It's gonna be so weird, but it's gonna be pretty funny at the same time, so... We'll see what happens. I could see anything happening. We could see Loppy actually show up and she dominates Dern. We could see fucking Loppy look like shit and get dominated by Dern. I don't know. To be honest, I really don't know, to be honest. I wish I knew, because I know what it should be, but with how inconsistent Loppy is, it's hard to fucking be confident. So, I don't know. This fight's gonna be weird, but... We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. The betting odds have Dern as a little favorite since they've not been updated on Tapology, but I think Dern's a small favorite now, like minus 130. I don't get it. Like, this is a pick'em. I really don't get why Dern's a favorite. If anything, Loppy should be the favorite, but even then, I'm fine with a pick'em. They're both inconsistent, weird fighters, so I'm fine with a pick'em here, so, yeah. And who am I going with? I'm going with Loppy. Like, she's younger by a year. She's the better fighter. If she can just show up and look half as good as we know she can, she should win this fight easily. She's good on the ground. She's way better on the feet. Loppy should be able to win this fight. So, which means she'll probably lose this fight. So, I don't know. I'm interested in this fight. I would love to see Loppy win so Dern has to take another L, because she's so fucking annoying, because she's never gotten better as a fighter. And I would love to see Loppy get a win here and actually show up. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to go Loppy Godinez. Who knows what's going to happen, to be honest. Again, you got two of the most annoying fighters to try and predict. Let's just wait and see. I'm going to go Loppy Godinez by decision. Who fucking knows what happens here? Take a guess and pray to an extent, but I'm leaning more Loppy, the better fighter. Just show up at your best. Come on. Loppy Godinez by decision. I'm not gonna say much here, because it's just sad at this point. This is just fucking sad at this point. In our next fight, in the welterweight division, our third fight of the main card. Again, this is just sad at this point. God damn it. As in our third fight of the main card, again in the welterweight division, we have Tony El Kukui Ferguson versus Michael the Maverick Chiesa. I don't know what to say. Not gonna say much. We know Chiesa's gonna win. Like, the dude's a minus 700 favorite at this point. Chiesa's gonna win, and it's gonna fucking blow. I'm putting my picking as Tony, no matter what. I do not give a fuck. But, yeah, this is gonna suck to see Tony lose again to Michael fucking Chiesa. Tony, please, man. If you somehow win, retire. If you lose, retire. We don't want to see you fight anymore, bro. Just retire, bro. So, we all love you, Tony, but bro, you have to stop fighting. It's fucking depressing at this point, so... I'm always gonna put in. I'm always gonna put my pick in as Tony Ferguson, no matter what. And we love you, Tony, but we know you're probably gonna lose. So whatever. Just a sad fight. No even point of breaking it down. We know who's gonna fucking win. It's Michael Chiesa. Come on. Just depression. After that, we head to our fourth fight of the main card. We head to bantamweight for a banger that should be the co-main. As in our fourth fight of the main card, we have Marlon Chito Vera versus Davison Destigara Figueiredo. Very big fight here in the bantamweight division. That's insane that this is not the co-main, but whatever. This should be an interesting fight between two interesting fighters. So let's just see what happens, man. Very Cheeto and Figgy on a fight night, not as a main or co. This will be interesting. Let's see what happens. Let's start with Cheeto. Don't really gotta say much about Cheeto. We all know Cheeto. 15-8 in the UFC, only famous for one reason, a fluke win that no one remembers now because he just got 50-45 by that said person. He's not good. Like, Cheeto's actually not good. It's actually hilarious how shit he is. Like, if you look at what he's done since that pretend win, lost to Jose Aldo, okay, that's understandable. Beat Davy Grant, okay. Beat Frankie Edgar in a fight he was losing, okay. Beat Rob Font, okay. Knocked out Dominic Cruz in 2022 in a fight he was losing, sure. Lost to Sandhagen in a terrible fight. Beat Pedro Munoz, maybe, and got fucking annihilated by Sean O'Malley. This dude's ass. Like, he's fucking terrible. Like, the only thing I'll give him is he's tough as nails, because how he ate that knee from O'Malley, I'll never know. That would have killed most people. She fucking put his teeth through his fucking head. So I'll give him props there. Besides that, he's not good. He's a slow starter, which I guess is code for being ass. Fucking can't grapple. Not a great striker. He's just not good. His 15 minutes of fame is over. And you can see it here. The UFC giving him a hard fight because they're done babying this guy. They fucking babied him up to a title shot just so they could do that big money rematch so we can get a real winner. We got a real winner, and it wasn't Cheeto's bitch ass. So, yeah, Cheeto's done. Cheeto's 15 minutes of fame is over, and now he's back on fight nights. He's lucky he ain't on his goddamn prelims. Like, he was main eventing cards and fucking pay-per-views he was on, and now he's fucking not even the co-main on a fight night. This dude's 15 minutes of fame is over. Simple as that, man. He was not good to begin with, and he's not good now. To talk about the opponent, Davison Figueiredo. Davison in the UFC is 12-3-1. No need to talk about his flyweight run. We all know it by now. Won the belt, had about 20 fights for Brandon Moreno. He lost that feud, and eventually he finally moved up to bantamweight, probably about 6 years too late. Since moving up to bantamweight, he's beat Rob Font and Cody Garbrandt. Not really impressive wins, because Rob Font's not good. Cody Garbrandt's Cody Garbrandt. But this is his first real test up at bantamweight, and see how he does. He is old. He is 36 years old. At bantamweight's not a great sign. But at the same time, he's still very good. We saw that in the Font fight. He can still go, and now he's not killing himself to make flyweight. That's a big fucking thing from him. Like, he looked fine against Cody Garbrandt. He looked good against Font. So he's 2-0 at bantamweight, getting the hardest fight now. Kind of. He should look good here and get the win. He's just the age and the much shorter fighter problem is definitely a big concern here, but I think Figgy will work around it and do what he has to do. So we've seen Figgy before. He still got it. Yeah, he's 36 and he's short, but he's Figgy, man. Simple as that. The betting odds, so I have Figueiredo minus 160 to plus 135. Yeah, you could have Figgy. I think 160 is right. Maybe 170 at most, but I don't even like that too much. Figgy should win pretty easily. Like, fucking get the first 2 rounds in the bag, survive round 3, and win. If not, win all 3 rounds. He's the better fight. He's better on the feet. He's way better on the ground. He's just a better fighter than Cheeto. Like, again, the only concern is he is 36 years old and much shorter than Cheeto. Besides that, he's better. So, give me Deiveson Figueiredo by decision. He's not going to finish Cheeto, so it's pretty much decision or bust. And I think it's going to be decision, so give me Figgy by decision. Your 15 minutes of fame is over, Cheeto. Simple as that. After that, we head to our new co-main event of the evening, the replacement for Nick and Luque. What a fucking downgrade. As in our co-main event of the evening, we head back to middleweight for a fight between Shara Bullet Magomedov versus Michael Hushar Olashejek. Not gonna waste your time or mine on this fight. Shara is gonna win an easy fight because they're just giving him layups because he sucks. Yeah, Shara's terrible. He's a complete fraud, and I can't wait to see him finally lose because he's not good. He's not gonna lose here unless Michael Olashejek goes full Khabib on this bum. But even then, Shara will just grab the cage and not get a point taken away. So, what's the point? Shara's gonna get a fucking highlight reel finish here because Olashejek's just a fucking punching bag. So, give me Shara Bullet Magomedov by knockout in the first. Olashejek's just a punching bag. The second Shara fights someone good, he has no fucking chance because, again, Shara's fucking awful. Like, he's honestly garbage, and it's a miracle that he's won 2 fights in the UFC because this dude is honestly so shit, it's hilarious. Like, if you put him in there with even like a Jung Young Park, he has no chance. So, the second he fights a grappler or someone like, dude, GM3 beats him. I'll say it right now, GM3 fucking beats him. Shara is ass, and I can't wait to see this dude get exposed more than he already has been. So, give me Shara Bullet by knockout in the first. They gave him a fucking punching bag on short notice after just getting his arm broken, so just pathetic. Whatever. Fuck Shara. Dude's ass. And now to go on to our main event of the evening, a fucking banger to end the day. The winner will fight Sean O'Malley after he knocks out Merab. If O'Malley feels like knocking out the winner of this, he might just say, fuck it, I have better things to do. Which is understandable, no one cares about the winner of this. As in our main event of the evening, in the bantamweight division, we have Corey the Sandman Sandhagen versus Umar Nurmagomedov. This is going to be interesting. Interesting because we're going to finally see how good Umar Nurmagomedov is, and from what we've seen so far, well, this might go bad. But I don't really gotta break down this fight much. I don't need to tell you about Corey Sandhagen. We all know Corey Sandhagen. Dude's very fucking good. He's boring now for some reason. I don't know when he became a boring fighter, but now he does like to fucking wrestle and cuddle, which is lame, but good for him. You had to cuddle bums like Cheeto and Rob Font, sure. And then for Umar, he's looked terrible lately. He looked good against Ione Barcelos. He looked terrible against Bekzat, that fucking can. He looked fine against Nate. He looked fine against Brian. He looked fine against Morozov. Like, Umar has shown talent, but then he has a fucking stupid performance against fucking Bekzat for no reason. It's like, dude, what the fuck? Like, I don't know. Like, if anyone has a chance to be the Khabib successor, it would probably be Umar, because they really don't got anyone else. Saeed is a decent fighter, but no. We got fucking, trying to think of those other guys they had that got cut. Islam, fucking, come on, let's get real now. Umar might be their best option, but he's at bantamweight when it's at its strongest it's ever been, and he's not looked that impressive, to be honest. His best to win is Ione Barcelos. So, like, he has all the talent. He's a good striker. He's a great grappler. Look at his last name, for fuck's sake. But he's not shown that outside of the Barcelos fight. He's looked fine in other fights, but he got dropped by that Bekzat nobody. So it's like, come on, dude, what the fuck? So, I don't know. I'm intrigued in this fight. It could go either way. I think Umar at minus 250 is, I think he's up to minus 300 now. It's fucking insane. Corey Sandhagen should not be plus 250. It should be a pick'em. We don't know how good Umar really is. Like skill set wise, we've seen him. He has a nice skill set. He's just not been able to show it. And against layups like Beck's he looked pretty bad. And Corey in his last 2 fights have looked fucking terrible because he's boring now. So I don't know really what to think. It's gonna be an interesting fight. I'm excited. Again, if I had to say the betting odds, a pick'em completely. I don't see a favorite here. I don't know how, like, if anything, Corey should be the favorite. He's more proven than Umar is. So, but I think the question mark of Umar should make it a pick'em. So, I'm intrigued, man. I'm really intrigued. Umar's going to have Khabib in his corner. Funny enough, I brought Khabib up. And I'm excited. This is going to be an insane main event. Going to answer a lot of questions. And we'll see what happens. Is this going to be like Robert Whittaker and Ikram Aliskerov? Maybe. Or is this gonna be like fucking... is this gonna be a prospect actually showing up? Does Umar show up or get fraud checked? Let's find out. Who am I going with? Flip a coin and pray is what I'm thinking, but if I had to make a pick... You don't pick against a Nurmagomedov. Give me Umar. I just have the feeling maybe the kid's legit. I'll see. I'm gonna say Umar. Dude has Khabib in his corner. It's in fucking Abu Dhabi. I'm going Umar Nurmagomedov. That's what I'll say. I'm going Umar by decision. I don't really know. I really just don't know. We don't know how good Umar is, and we find out Saturday evening. So. Give me Umar Nurmagomedov by decision. No confidence at all. Again, should not be minus 300. But, at least let's see how good this kid really is. Umar by decision. Boom. Those are my picks. Go over them one more time. Only an hour and 16 minutes. A lot shorter than I thought it was. Sedriques Dumas by knockout in a second. Herbert by decision. Victoria Dudakova by decision. Jordan Vucenic, no idea how to say that, by decision. Dontel Mays by decision. Kauê Fernandes by decision. Azamat Murzakanov by decision, maybe. Joel Alvarez by decision. Loppy Godinez by decision. Tony Ferguson, pure biased. Davison Figueiredo by decision. Shamil Magomedov by knockout in first. And Umar Nurmagomedov by decision. Bang. Yeah, a lot of decisions. My bad. Maybe I'll add a finish or two in there, who knows. And for my, like I said, my lock of the night is Dudakova. Of course, the lock of the night should be Chiesa or Shara, but I'm not doing that to Tony, and Shara's a bitch. So, Dudakova, you're my lock. Don't piss me off. So, gonna be an interesting card. I'm excited. A lot of good fights on it. An insane main card. Tony Ferguson on a fight night. Bruh, are you fucking insane? This is gonna be insane. I'm excited. I can't wait for this card. Fun way to spend the day. Let's see what happens. We're gonna learn a lot about a lot of fighters. Shara, maybe Umar, Tony, please. A lot of interesting things are gonna happen. So let's see what happens. I'm excited. Let's see what happens in Abu Dhabi. But enough of me rambling. Again, only an hour and 18 minutes. I definitely felt like I talked longer than that, but I won't complain. I know you won't. So I'll stop rambling on and say, I hope you enjoyed the video. You'll hear from me again Sunday for a recap. Yeah, probably gonna try and get out as early as possible. We'll see. And unless I'm forgetting to say something. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe. 100 subs go by the end of 2024. Thank you so much for 62 again. And unless I'm going to say something, which I don't believe I am, as always, RX out. Good vibes, only and always.